before we go off-roading, one of the things I want to show is the all-wheel drive has an Esc Sport mode. Now we're going to maybe try and use it when we go up the trail. It's just possible that it's going to be needed to let wheels spin, but I want to see if I can kind of rally style chuck this car around a little bit here on the dirt. So let me go down there. I'm going to try and slide it around. We'll see if Esc Sport lets me have the fun that I want to have. Just cutting in the whole time still, and actually look, it went back to activated here. I was wondering why it was doing that. Maybe it doesn't love too much spicy action. Hello and welcome to the newer Out of Spec Overlanding YouTube channel. We review cars on Out of Spec Reviews, one of our sister channels, but we thought it would be kind of fun to have, of course, overlanding content on this channel. That's van life, it's going out on adventures and combustion, electric, plug-in hybrid vehicles, but part of this channel I thought would be kind of neat is to develop the new Out of Spec Hillclimb Challenge. And we're here on the trail, just over this ridge, where our Hillclimb Challenge is. And just as like a word of caution, this is not like a little itty bitty Hillclimb Challenge. This is like a 9 out of 10 rating for trail difficulty. So if you can actually complete the Hillclimb Challenge with the car, like it's seriously off-roady. I don't know if the Volkswagen ID.4 can complete this hill climb, but we're going to see how high up it goes. Now, there's a lot to talk about on the all-wheel drive system in this car. Part of this challenge is not just seeing, can we get the car up the hill, but it's also explaining how capable the car is, how it gets the power to the ground, because each car is a little different, especially when we get into the world of electric cars. So let's see if this Volkswagen ID.4 all-wheel drive can complete the Out of Spec Hillclimb Challenge. Now, there's two versions of all-wheel drive ID.4 on sale globally. The first is the ID.4 GTX. That's for pretty much every other market except the US. So all of Europe gets the GTX. The GTX is a lower riding position than the standard rear-wheel drive car and is, has active damper and is like more of the sporty one. In the US, they selected, does it say all-wheel drive on the back? No, just ID.4. Volkswagen of America said, no, our customers want to be adventurous. They want to go out and hit trails. They want to go and win rallies. And they're actually entering ID.4s into rally competitions, which, by the way, I haven't told anyone yet, we're going to be experiencing those cars here very soon. So both the rear-wheel drive ID.4 that competed in one of the races down in Mexico, and then the all-wheel drive ID.4 that was just in the Rebel Rally, I'll have a video coming to you soon with both of those modified cars. Can't wait for that. Here's just a standard off-the-shelf ID.4 all-wheel drive Pro S Gradient, which means the Gradient means it gets the big wheels, not the best wheels for off-roading. So these have the 20s, you can get 19s. They're on all-season tires, not all-terrain tires. However, the US spec all-wheel drive is a 0.6-inch higher ground clearance and just ride height in general than the rear-wheel drive car. So it's raised up a little bit. Now, let me explain how the all-wheel drive system works. So come back here with me. In the rear, there is a permanent magnet motor, 150 kilowatt unit. It's the exact same unit that's in the rear-wheel drive ID.4. And since it's permanent magnet, you can't shut it off. It's always rear biased, rear motors on all the time. In the middle, if you come up underneath the car, you could probably see the battery pack. There's a 82 kilowatt hour battery pack, installed capacity, 77 kilowatt hours usable. Car's at pretty low state of charge because we just filmed our performance driving review on the way up here for our, again, sister channel Out of Spec Reviews. And then this is where all the interesting stuff happens up here, because this little badge, the all-wheel drive badge, means you get a front motor on this car. And you can see I kind of have the car flexed out here so we can take a look at some of the suspension articulation. And actually, like, it's more than I was expecting. I thought we would be lifting a wheel here, but it actually dropped pretty far. So in normal operation, this car is still rear-wheel drive. permanent magnet motor. The induction motor up front means for efficiency, it's only run and turned on when it's needed. So that's going to be interesting out here. Is it going to just spin the rear tires? Once they start spinning, it'll blend in the front. That's my understanding of how the system will work. But there's a catch, because Volkswagen's thought about this. If I click this mode button right here on this screen, it will pull up all of the different drive modes that I have. Eco, Comfort, Sport, and Custom were there before, but now there's a new traction mode, which it is my understanding that now the traction mode actually keeps the front motor on all the time, or engaged. So let's get up over this little hill. Join me for the little drive up. Let's buckle up and let's see if we can get over this little hill. We're just going to be slowly accelerating up this way. We're going to be avoiding some of the sharper rocks just because we have all-terrain tires on the car, not, you know, or what am I trying to say? We have all seasons on the car, not all terrains. We're going to be using the ground clearance to our advantage up over here. We're going to try and drive up on the ruts. Nothing crazy. Don't want to scratch the paint. Don't want to scratch the battery pack. Just going to be cruising up here. Oh, nice. Nice. Didn't even hint at hitting anything, which is cool. And then look at this little rock path we got to get up and over before we get to the overlanding hill climb challenge. So I think I'm going to have Timon jump out of the car, spot me over these harsh rocks. Let's see if we can do this without damaging the car. And then up ahead, you'll see the hill climb challenge right up there.
Yeah, you're good. I mean, slowly, yeah.
Challenge, so come on over. I'm going to put the car here in comfort mode. We're going to see if I can climb up onto this rock or this little hump, because what it's going to do is it's going to have to prioritize the power going to each outside front right and back left wheel. The front left and the rear right will have the weight off of them. So this is not only front to rear power split, but also torque vectoring between the two tires. So let's see if it can do it. Alright, so we got it stuck in comfort mode here. Now I'm going to put it in traction mode. So let's go here to traction. And then beyond traction, we can go to Esc Sport, because these are the next level deep. So let's see if traction changes anything. Ready? Way more wheel spin. But she's not climbing. I think what we need to do now is to go to Esc Sport. So take a look here at the screen. I'm going to go to vehicle. I'm going to go to vehicle again, vehicle within vehicle. I'm going to go to brakes. I'm then going to go Esc Sport. So this is full off-roady mode here. And let's see if it can climb up. Say no dice. This is probably, oh, we're smoking tires. It's probably an all-wheel drive system better suited for snow more so than real crawling, but we kind of knew that going into it. This is the first electric car we've had on the hill, so we're unsure how the rest will do, but I would say instant impressions. The car had a really hard time sending power to the correct wheel, but it was definitely using the front motor at low speed and definitely using the back motor there. We were just spinning the wheels without weight, and it was hitting the brakes, but it wasn't sending power to where it needed to go. Now, I think we do the hill climb challenge. Let me walk you up the hill, show you what this car might be in store for if it can do it. Well, things are not off to an amazing start here for the all-wheel drive ID.4. Again, this is not the car's intended purpose. The all-wheel drive gives you more benefits than just extra traction. In the snow, I'm sure the system will be great. We'll definitely test it in the snow. And not to make up excuses for the car, I think an all-wheel drive system with the traction mode should be able to send power to the correct wheel. But it also gives you an extra 100 horsepower over the rear-wheel drive. So even if you're not into off-roading or snow driving, maybe one of the reasons to upgrade to the all-wheel drive would be just for the extra power. 5.4 seconds to 60, 300 horsepower on this one. Here's the hill. And we have a couple different lines that we can take. I think I'm going to try and walk the ID.4 up this line here on the left side. I think it's the easiest. We don't have really any crazy sharp rocks. I'm pretty sure it can clear this. Timon will spot so we don't damage the car. We're going to walk it up this way. This is where we're going to have a challenge because it dips pretty far here. It dips really far over this way. So this is where a wheel will be up in the air or have some weight off of it, depending on how much it can articulate. That's where we're going to need the power to be sent to the other wheel. I don't know if it can do it. So sort of there's two stages to this hill climb challenge. The first stage is getting the car up to this plateau. I would say this is where a general CUV, Subaru Crosstrek type vehicle should be able to make it to at least here. And if it can make it here, then it passes our stage 1 test, if you will. The stage 2 test is for Broncos, for, I don't know, JL Wranglers, like some crazy off-roading stuff. And that is coming up here to the real hardcore section. Now over here, it gets super gnarly, but if you walk up the right side, you need ground clearance, you need articulation, you need locking diffs, none of which the ID.4 has. So we'll try it if it gets up to this point. I'd be surprised if it gets even to our stage 1 finish. But look at how good that thing looks out in nature. We'll have to get a picture of it flexed out. Just let us know if we're going to scrape, Timon.
Yeah. I'm putting you on top of a rock.
Man, this thing's doing it. Anytime it tries to creep forward, it just spins tires. So let's just... Yeah. You can hear it grabbing the brakes in the back. Why are we lifting a front wheel?
Your rear tire is on top of a rock, and that one's probably in a hole. Yeah, you're digging yourself a little grave. Yeah, on both your rear tire and your front passenger.
So it just can't send the power where it needs to go, and it's stuck here. So I think I'll walk ourselves down now.
Yeah, you're on top of the rock. I mean, you already cleared it before.
Nice backup camera, actually. But I would say that was a fail in the out of spec overlanding hill climb challenge.
Hey, don't hit my phone.
Yeah, I won't back into it. Don't worry. I'm going to leave her right here. And interesting to see the all-wheel drive system work in this car. I am actually a little bit surprised that it wasn't able to do more of a side-to-side motion. I sort of expected the car to be able to, I don't know, just be able to get the power where it needs to go, if you will. It was just open diffs and not even trying. I'm pretty sure the car does torque vectoring on the rear axle with drum brakes. I think it's the only car on the market, this and Q4 e-tron, that do that, which required a lot of tuning. But it may not be well enough tuned to actually handle, you know, really locking down one of those drum brakes and getting the power to the other side. The front's disc, so almost no excuse up there, but interesting little test. Learned a lot about the system. I think it's going to be amazing in snow and general dirt driving, and I would totally get the all-wheel drive over the rear-wheel drive, but don't expect to go too far down the trail in the ID.4 all-wheel drive. And there you have it, the ID.4 all-wheel drive Pro S Gradient. Couldn't quite take on the overlanding challenge. Look, we picked a hard test, so only the truly qualified vehicles can pass. Look, there's different lines I could take up the hill, but I don't think this car had the ground clearance for any of those. We do have the wheels chalked right now. I will say though, when you put on the parking brake, it just locks the rear tires, I believe. And so yeah, we just put a little chalk up here to make sure it doesn't, woo, right down the mountain. What else? Every time I get in, it defaults to comfort mode, not traction. So every time you get out of the car and back in, if you're wheeling, you got to go back into traction mode. It didn't seem to remember. That would get annoying over a period of time. But the system's going to be great for snow, great for situations that don't involve lifting wheels and rock crawling, more or less, although this is fairly basic, the first section. And let us know what you guys think. Let us know if you like this test. Let us know if you want us to try different all-wheel drive cars in this test. It's a great way to figure out how the systems work, how the cars perform, how their breakover angle is, how their approach angle is. Overall, I gotta say, I think the ID.4 actually has really good ground clearance. We just took another SUV up here and it was like not doing so hot in terms of ground clearance, just brushing rocks. And this, we didn't even touch the bottom of this car once. Pretty impressive to see the all-wheel drive ID.4 do some fun things out here. I think electric might be the future of off-roading, but I think it might need a little bit different all-wheel drive system than this car. Thanks so much for watching the new Out of Spec Overlanding YouTube channel. You'll be seeing plenty of people, not really myself on this channel, where we'll be testing all-wheel drive cars, four-wheel drive cars in this test, and then of course adventuring with a whole bunch of overlanding suited vehicles. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.